Today is going to be a very special hunt. It's the first nickel box of our 2026 nickel hunt and fill. Hey everybody, it's Double A Coins and welcome back to the channel. Today's a very special day in our channel because we're starting our first ever Double A Coins nickel hunt and fill for Jefferson nickels from 1938 to 1995. And as you know, we're going to be looking for older Jeffersons, Buffalo nickels, varieties, silver nickels, and anything else that's going to be cool. And it's pretty much all I have to say. We are going to be filling these out, and we are going to upgrade as we go. So I think without further ado, we're going to see if we have circulating nickels in here, and I'll see you if we have a first find. So as you see here, we have circulated nickels, and I guess every 5 rolls, I will bring you in for a recap on what will go in the album. Anyways, I'll see you guys after 5 rolls, unless we have a first find in between now and then. Well, that didn't take long. Roll 1, about a third of the way through the roll, and we're gonna have a 1956 out of Denver as our first find on the board, as well as our first nickel ever hunted in the 2026 hunt and fill, which is gonna be a 2014 out of Denver. All right, let's continue. Roll 5, towards the end of the roll, it's going to give us a 1939. We're hoping it has a mint mark. If not, it's still a good find. And it's a Philly. I will check it for the DDR off camera, but that's our second older Jefferson through 5 rolls. And I will give you a recap if we don't find anything else, which it doesn't look like there is. All right, here's what we have through 5 rolls. You saw the 39 and the 56. But anyways, these are the 90s through 95. I didn't keep anything after 95 because, well, that's where the books end. But these are the 80s, the 70s, and the 60s. So now I will plug them into the book. I'm not going to plug the 39 and the 56 in because I want to do that at the end. But let me get these plugged in, and I'll show you the books in a sec. All right, so here are all the finds through first 5 rolls in the book, or like all the additions. So we have the 95D, 9040, and then it goes up. Not a lot of Philly mints, a lot of Denvers, but you know, we've got all the 1989s and 90s through 91s. We also got both of the 87s. Pretty much gets a bit scarcer. We got both of the 81s, which is kind of nice. And it just continues going. We got both of the 78s. And pretty much just goes back to 1962, the first year of this book here. And this was the nicest reverse I could find. The nicest coin in the book is this 1994 Denver. Beautiful coin. But anyways, let's continue on to rolls 6 through 10. And I will bring you in on our first find or through those rolls, or else I will just give you a 10-roll recap. Roll number, what's that? Roll number 9 is going to give us a nice 1959 Jefferson nickel. Look at that bad boy. Out of Denver. What a beauty. Anyways, I'll bring you in if we have another find between then, or else I'll give you a 10-roll recap. Roll 10 is going to give us a 1948 Jefferson nickel. Out of Philly, it looks like. Not a bad find. And yeah, I'll bring you in if we find something else in this roll, or else I'll give you the 10-roll recap in comparing all the finds with the album. Oh, not to mention, I did find this 2003 here. It looks like it's been either stripped or not plated in the nickel, but I'm not going to keep it. I just thought I'd show it to you for fun. All right, let's get back at it. Still roll 10, and we have a 1958 Jefferson nickel. Out of Denver, it looks like. All right, definitely not a bad roll. 2 older Jeffersons in that roll. Let's continue hunting. I'll probably just give you 10-roll recap, regardless if you find something else or not. All right, so those 10 rolls have been hunted, and these are the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. Much less 60s than there were in the last one. I think we had like 7 or 8 60s. There were only like 4 of them. And then, you know, you saw the older finds. Anyways, now I'll compare them to the albums, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, we finished comparing the stuff to the album here through 10 rolls. We actually did have an addition. in this older book through 61. We added a 61D. See, so that's nice. And then as far as the newer ones go, we added a 63 Philly. We added a 70 Denver, a 71 Philly, 72 Philly. Where else did we add? Let's see here. We added an 82 Denver. We added an 83, both of the 83s actually, an 86 Philly. And then, you know, we had a lot of upgrades, and we also added a 94 Philly and a 93 Denver. So definitely not a bad haul through 10 rolls. This album is starting to get heavy, which is always a good sign. And yeah, I guess we'll do 20 rolls, and I'll bring you in if we have a find between now and the next 20 rolls, or next 10 rolls, or I'll just give you a recap on the nickels we found to compare to the album. Roll 18, it's going to give us a 1939 out of Philly. So we're going to check it for the DDR, which you could find on a 1939, which I don't see it. But we have a second 1939 Philly. I'll have to see which one is good for the album. I'm going to make a quick mention here that I'm not really doing the sorting by decade. I'm just saying if there is if I find a nicer one, I'll check to see if it upgrades, or if there's one that I think might be an addition, I just check. And yeah, I'm just going by that. I have a little list memorized in my head, so you know, we're just gonna wish for the best on that. Roll 23 is gonna give us a 1959 out of Denver this time. Okay, I guess I'll give you a recap at the halfway point of this box after Rule 25. Alright, here is a look at what we have after 25 rolls. And not too bad as far as like our finds. You saw our very first nickel, 2014D. Gonna be keeping that. Got 239 Phillies, 48 Philly, and then, you know, it goes into 56, 50, a couple 59 Denvers. We got 2 lower mintage 2009 Denvers and a 2024 Denver. But as far as the albums, I'm not really plugging anything into this album as you heard. We have a 60D, a 61D in this album, and then we go into the 62s all the way through, you know, we're missing a few, like we're missing the 65 through 67, we're missing a 62 Philly, then we're missing some of the S-Mints, and then there's some that could be upgraded a bit. Other than that, they're fine. You know, we're missing some Philly minted ones here and there. We're missing an 84D, and it goes to like the Philly minted ones in the early 90s. We're only missing 3 of them. So definitely not too shabby for only 25 rolls or 1,000 nickels searched. And yeah, we'll continue on to, and I guess we'll just do this like a standardized nickel hunt. If I have something older than 1960, I'll bring you in. Otherwise, I'll bring you in at the end of the box. Roll 28 is going to give us a 1957 out of Denver. Let's continue on. Roll 33 is going to give us a 1957 out of Denver. Nice finding all that. About 17 more rolls left. Hopefully, we get more finds between now and then. Well, what do you know? The coin right behind it had a Denver mint mark, and when I flipped it around, it's also a 1957. So I have 357 Denvers. And yeah, that's kind of crazy, you know. Anyways, let's continue on with the hunts. Roll 34 is going to give us a 1954 out of Philly. And the coin right behind it has a San Francisco mint mark. So I figured if we do a live unveiling together, hopefully it's a key date or something like that. 1940, not bad. Anyways, yeah, let's continue through this roll. We have 16 rolls left of the box. Hopefully there's more goodies like this. Roll 36 this would be, and we have a 1947 right there, and it's going to be out of Philly, it looks like. Couple older Jeffersons, or what am I saying? Anyways, we'll continue on with this hunt, hopefully have another find between now and the end of the box. Roll 42 is going to give us a 1946 Jefferson nickel out of Philly. Alright, we'll continue on with this box, and if I have another find, I'll bring you in. Otherwise, I'll give you a full box recap. Roll 44 is going to give us a 1955 out of Denver, it looks like. 1955 Denver. Very nice finds. Hopefully there's more like it. Otherwise, I'll bring you in with a full box recap. Still roll 44, and we're going to have a 1958 right here. Minted in Denver yet again. Roll 45 is going to give us a 1959 Jefferson nickel right here. Minted in Denver yet again. Roll 46 is going to give us a 1958 Jefferson nickel. Minted in Denver. Roll 50 here, the final roll of the box is going to give us here a 1941, and I think it has a mint mark. I think it is, yeah, 1941S. 1941S. Anyways, we'll continue on, and I'll give you a full box recap after this. Alright, we finished that box, and it wasn't the bad box. We had 12 of 24 finds. The starting here, we've got 39 Phillies. You saw the 40S, the 41S, 46 Philly, 47 Philly, 48 Philly, 54 Philly, 55D, 56D, 3 5070s, what's that? 3 58Ds, I believe 3 5090s. We had 3 lower minted 2090s, and then 2 2024Ds. And then now we're going to compare the older Jeffersons into the album, and I will be right back. Alright, here, let's look at the albums. I think we did pretty well here. I don't think we did terribly. And we have a good amount of slots actually in the 40s. And then as well as like in the mid to late 50s, of course. Then you like up at early 60s, and I plugged in the nicest reverse I could find. And then, you know, we kept going through out the 60s and the 70s until, you know, we're missing a few of the Phillies and the 69S. Other than that, we're actually pretty much almost full. And I tried to plug in some the nicest ones I could find, like that 78 and that 82D. But we're obviously missing an 84D, I don't know why. It's a common year. And then we're also missing a few of the Phillies in the early 90s. But not too bad. We almost filled the second album in the first box, which is really a good sign to see. And we actually got a good amount of slots filled here. So definitely a great first episode of The Hunts. And I plan on making real hunt videos until this does, but you know, occasionally post something else once in a while. But anyways, we'll worry about upgrading the circulated ones in another video, because I don't want to go through the pile and make, like, you know, search for the nicest ones. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'd really appreciate your like, and please be sure to subscribe down below and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.